So then guys, let's talk about 5 big upgrades for the new iPhone Fold, what is set to come out in 2026. So that's right, in just over a year from now, Apple is going to bring out their first foldable iPhone, and like I said, I want to tell you all the details with 5 big leaks about it. So first of all, let's talk about the foldable iPhone and what design we're expecting to get with this, with its first #1 leak. Well, we've been told that the new iPhone Fold, or maybe it's going to be called the iPhone 18 Fold, we're not quite sure yet. This new phone is going to be, like I said, the first kind of foldable phone out there from Apple. But what I would be saying is expect it to be looking like a book kind of device. So when it opens up, it's going to be something like a mini iPad on the inside. And in fact, we've actually been told the size of this new iPhone Fold. And with that, I'm actually going to say we've been told the 2 sizes of the iPhone Fold, because we're actually expecting 2 different variants of this exact model. Jeff Yu has recently come in telling us that we're going to get one model with a 7.9-inch display on the inside and then also an 8.3-inch as well. Now, if those sizes do sound familiar to you, well, you're not wrong, because the original first generation or first design of the iPad mini, that had a 7.9-inch display, and then the current iPad mini, what we have right now, well, that has an 8.3-inch display. So it's looking likely that Apple are going to make those sort of same designs in their 2 different models that they're going to bring out. It's quite extraordinary, really. And then we actually have had another leaker coming in saying that we're going to get a display of around about 5.5 inches when it is actually folded. Now, if this is the case, I believe this will be for the smaller kind of model out there. So this will be the one with the 7.9-inch display. But then probably we get up to around about sort of 6-inch display. Obviously, if you went for that larger kind of 8.3-inch display, the larger unfolded one of that. And this kind of makes sense. And at the end of the day, like I said, those open sizes, the 7.9-inch and that 8.3-inch. Again, you know, if Apple have made iPads in the past at this sort of display, well, it's going to be very easy for them to adapt, say, the nature of iPad OS or say an iOS onto this, because obviously, you know, like I said, previous iPads and even the current iPad mini uses the display at the moment, that sizing. So to actually get all your apps and everything and the ratios all corrected out, maybe this might be quite handy to actually have that Apple decides to go for these sizes. Now, continuing on from this, the second big upgrade, and to be honest, I think this is a big one, and also why I think Apple have been so late to the party. You know, we had like Samsung bring out their first foldable kind of phone like 7 years ago now, and obviously everyone was expecting Apple to bring out one maybe a year or 2 later. Here we are 7 years later, and you know, why has that been the case? Well, one of the major reasons is all to do with the crease in the screen. If you've actually had a foldable phone or, you know, used one, a lot of you guys are not convinced by the crease in the actual screen, especially after you use it after a while. You get to see it glaring at you, and also you can feel it too. And I think that Apple have been waiting for the opportunity to make a sort of non-crease iPhone out there, and it seems like they finally have done this. It looks like they're going to be making kind of a liquid hydraulic kind of sort of hinge, what actually gives us the ability to open up the iPhone without giving a crease in the actual display, or if it does cause a crease, the crease would appear far later along down the line into the long life of the actual iPhone. So you wouldn't get it within a week or 2 of using it. And this is something that's quite interesting to see, that obviously this is going to probably set the expectations going forwards that all iPhone Folds or all other kind of Android phones out there will probably do something very similar if actually Apple nail it on the head here without giving us a crease on a foldable phone. But then the next question you're probably wanting to know about, especially if this phone folds open and things like this, what about security like Face ID? What's going to go on here? Well, it does look like we could have the potential of Touch ID returning back to an iPhone. And when I say Touch ID, I wouldn't expect it to be on the actual screen. It's probably something very similar like what we have on the current sort of, you know, cheapest iPad out there, the iPad mini and also the iPad Air, that kind of power button fingerprint, what would be on the actual side of the phone, and we're also expecting to actually have a hole punch camera on the very front of this phone, and when you open it up inside it, we've also been told there is the possibility that we could actually have a under screen camera, what would be hidden, very similar to like what the Galaxy kind of fold phones do right now, and that this could also be coming out on the new iPhone. But for the actual sort of rear kind of cameras, we're also expecting these cameras not probably to be the best ones out there, not as good as say like the iPhone 18 Pro Max or Pro when that comes out next year, probably somewhere that sits between the likes of an iPhone 18 and the iPhone 18 Pro kind of range in the middle, like what lots of other foldable phones do right now. But like I said, this new iPhone Fold, we're going to have to wait till 2026 for it to come out. However, there is something that's coming out in 2025, and in fact, it's the end of June time it's coming out, so around about a month from now, and that is the giveaway we are doing on this channel for this right here. This here is a MacBook Air, and this is the sky blue version of it with an M4 chip, and I'm going to be giving this away to one lucky subscriber on this channel at the end of June time. And all you have to do to enter into this giveaway at this stage is just put down in the comments below of what technology gear you're hoping to still get in 2025. Maybe it's going to be a new iPhone 17 model. Maybe it's going to be, say, a brand new MacBook Pro. Maybe it's got nothing to do with Apple. It could be the Nintendo Switch 2. It could be something else completely different. Well, just let me know in the comments below. And like I said, this is the first part of the giveaway. The other part of the giveaway will be happening at the end of June time, where I'll be making a video giving you more details about the giveaway, including when I'm going to be doing the live stream to announce who the winner will be for this MacBook Air. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit that notification bell, because you won't want to miss out on that video. The other thing I want to quickly say about the actual MacBook Air too is that this is no ordinary baseline MacBook Air. Oh no, this has, as I like to call it, the full fat M4 chip inside of it. It's not a bin down version. So we have a 10-core CPU and the 10-core GPU inside of it. We've also got 24 gigabytes of RAM instead of 16, and we've also got 512 gigabytes of storage instead of 256 gigabytes. And like I said, I'll be giving it away to one lucky subscriber. The last thing I just want to quickly say to you guys is that sadly, there are still lots of scammers and spammers out there. People still impersonate me, tend to WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram direct message. Please do ignore these people. Best to see right here. Please do report them. Now, moving on from this, what about the fourth rumor? Well, this one is an interesting one because this is all about battery life. Now, foldable phones haven't had the best battery lives out there because obviously they've got to be super thin to fit in your pocket, and then at the same time as well, they've got to essentially power one big display like an iPad mini display, and then also the front screen too. And obviously, you know, to cram all of those different displays in there, all the other kind of bits of technology, battery life hasn't been the best. However, we have had some breakthroughs with some previous phones recently what are foldables, like for example the Oppo N5 Fold. That one's been absolutely amazing what they've managed to do there. They put a carbon battery inside it, 5000 milliamp, and it's super thin and yet gives us great battery life inside of it. And it looks like Apple are looking to equip the new kind of iPhone kind of Fold with this sort of same type of battery kind of technology inside of it, and also adapt a new kind of C1 chip, very similar to what we got the iPhone 16e, with its own modem, its own kind of Wi-Fi abilities and things like this, and Bluetooth. So this means that battery life would be even better inside of this new iPhone Fold. So yeah, if you're a bit worried about that, this is where some good news comes into play here. But then for the fifth big upgrade, I'm going to say this one where things get a little bit disappointing, and that is all to do with the price of this new iPhone. Now, we've been hearing leaks and rumors that this new iPhone Fold could cost twice as much as an iPhone 16 Pro Max. So we're talking anywhere between $2,000 to $2,500 out there. And this is quite a lot. But you've got to remember, you've got the likes of, say, the Galaxy, Z Fold, and things like this, and the pricing of that one for the baseline version, that almost starts at $2,000 too. So yeah, you've got to remember it is Apple in this scenario. They like to put the price a little bit more in some occasions, and this looks like this is where it will happen. So yeah, if you do want to save up for a foldable iPhone, I'd get saving right now. And like I said, because the release is going to be happening some point next year in 2026, probably near the end of the year, after summer, around about September time. But really guys, that is the latest and greatest that we've heard on the new iPhone Fold, or the new iPhone 18 Fold, whatever it's going to be called. Are you excited for this? Is this a new kind of foldable phone that you would love to get your hands on? Well, let me know in the comments below. And with that as well guys, it's time to wrap up this video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. As always, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.